big moment. You know, I think we can all say, if you're not a Knicks fan today, I don't know what to tell you, man. So I wouldn't be taught. But no, it's such a beautiful day for our city. But there's such important things happening even when we're done with today's game, and that is the primary that is coming up in June. We do have a candidate that is running for Congress District 6, Congressional District 6, which has been represented for the last decade by Grace Meng, who unfortunately couldn't join us today due to a vote, but she does send her regards, which we will play momentarily. But before we get there, I would like there's a candidate running for district leader as well in this community. Mr. Christopher, would you like to come up and share your regards?
Hi everybody, I'm Christopher Hanusa, and thank you to the church and to Jean for all the work you've been doing. So I live in Kew Gardens, just down the street, just on Austin Street, down the way. And I'm a professor at Queens College in the math department. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here because my colleague and I, my colleague Melissa San Pedro and I are running for district leader in the area. And how many people here know what a district leader is? Okay, we got about half, which is really good for knowing what a district leader is. So what that means is that if I'm elected, I would be your representative to the Queens County Democratic Party. There are 72 district leaders in the Queens, 4 per assembly district, and in their role, they elect the party chair, they vote on party endorsements, they nominate judicial candidates, and they fill vacant legislative and party seats. And they're supposed to connect the community to the party. This is an elected but volunteer position, and I said in theory that's what they do, because in practice the candidates are often chosen by the county head pretty much, and no one runs against them, and so there's not even an election. So most people just don't know that this position exists. And then they represent the party's interests and not the community's interests. So, like, where's the democracy in that? And where's the connection to the community? So Melissa San Pedro and I decided that we wanted to run an independent race for district leader to represent the community instead of the party. And we're working to educate people about this. So even if you're not in our district, we wanted to make sure that everybody knew how this process works. And so and if you can't vote for us, you can still learn that there are district leaders and you can make a difference in connecting with the county party. So what would we do if we were elected? What we'd like to do is we'd like to improve transparency. The Democrats deserve to hear from their elected officials, and they deserve to know how the decisions are made at the county level. So there hasn't been a town hall in many, many years, and Melissa and I would like to change that. We'd also like to improve transparency. If we improve transparency, that increases our opportunities to grow the party and improve responsiveness. As Democrats, we're supposed to be a big tent party, and how many times did I hear when I was canvassing, oh, I'm not a member of any party? Now, the people who are Democratic-leaning independents, they should be brought into the party. They should be encouraged to bring their voices to what the party wants. And last, we want to give representation to the community when building a grassroots party. So the county committee members, which I know some of you are running for a county committee, should be representative of all parts of the party. And it's not just my friends or the people that I know who should be. It should really be for block by block representatives for the county committee. And so why would I be good at this job? Well, I'm a really good listener and a facilitator. And I can bring and represent the voices of a lot of people. I kind of take myself out of this, and even though I have my opinions, my goal would be to bring the voices of the community to the Democratic Party. I care about good governance. I've been involved in a lot of different initiatives, improving processes at Queens College. And last, Queens College is a bureaucracy. I know how to work in bureaucracies. And I know that's not very sexy, but that's one thing I'm really good at. So thanks for your attention. And again, I'm Chris Hanusa. I appreciate your vote. Melissa, San Pedro, and I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the district leadership is actually the most local form of government, right? So if your congress member or assembly member, or state senator, or city council member is not responsive, usually district leaders, and they also determine poll sites. That's also very important. So that being said, we want to give a really big thank you to our partners that helped advertise this event, that also made sure that we were able to do this forum, right? You know, whether we didn't know if we were going to get the candidate or any candidate, as a matter of fact, but I feel like this race is one of the most talked about races, at least in Queens, and we want to make sure at least we have an opportunity to do this, right? Because it shows that this is important, whether for this cycle or future cycles. So thank you so much to the Central Queens Independent Democrats, as well as especially Forest Hills Indivisible, that helped us secure this space. Thank you so much to the First Presbyterian Church as well, Forest Hills. Thank you so much, Reverend, who we'll hear from right now. This guy is a gem. He's always doing things. I call him the activist pastor because that's what he is. He's always standing up for the righteousness of this community. So please, Pastor, look, you'll say some words.
Thank you. And thanks for everybody for coming out tonight. That's the most important thing, so that you are involved and educated in the issues that you're going to be voting on. Our congregation and elders welcome you. When Chuck asked me about having some kind of a forum here, I was a little hesitant because we're a church. We don't take political campaigns or sides or anything. I personally know Grace Meng, and more importantly, she knows me. But I also know Chuck, and he's a good guy. So I don't want to sit there and say, you know, but we want democracy, which involves educated voters. We want engagement. We want people to be engaged. We want you to vote for the person that makes the most choice for Queens. And so I'm very happy to welcome you and invite all of you to listen, ask your questions, and take this information back to your neighbors and friends after you leave here. And so, thank you for coming. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it back to Jeffy.
Awesome, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And us, we are the South Asian Indo-Caribbean Democratic Club. We formed and officially, started doing things at the end of December of 2025, because we saw that our community has been, severely lacking within civics. And what we saw last year during the mayoral election is how much of a difference we can actually make if we organize and stay involved. Whoever you voted for, the fact that you voted, that's the most important thing. So that's what we're trying to instill within our community, within our neighborhoods that we live in, because we are expanding, but again, I think sometimes we just go to work, come back home, repeat the cycle. So we want to change that actively, and I'm so grateful that Chuck is here. Before we go into the candidate forum with Chuck, we will hear from Grace Meng's remarks in DC, so let's hear that together.
The Congresswoman representing right now in New York 6 Congressional District. Hi everyone, I'm Grace Meng, the Congresswoman representing right now in New York 6 Congressional District. Hi everyone, I'm Grace Meng, the Congresswoman representing right now in New York 6 Congressional District. First, I want to say how sorry I am that I can't be there with you in person tonight, as votes have been called in Washington, D.C. The South Asian and Indo-Caribbean Democratic Club is such a proud and important organization. You all are the backbone of this district, so I want to thank you. Thank you for organizing, thank you for showing up, thank you for everything you've done to help make Queens the most extraordinary place in the world. In the years that I spent representing our district, there is not a single day I have taken your work and efforts for granted. This is the most diverse district in the United States. And we are bound together by our common struggles for better, more affordable living, for safety and a community where our kids thrive, and when they grow up, move down the block. That's the life I had, and it's the life that you and your families deserve. Queens is my home. I grew up here. I'm raising my family here. And when something goes wrong for a family in Bayside, Woodside, Forest Hills, or Elmhurst, the odds are I know them. And if not, I hear about it fast. I could not do this job without community networks. Some like your own, others less formal or organized. No matter what though, I treasure these bonds. This district was built by people from all over the world, and so many who came from all around the world, including our South Asian and Caribbean communities. People who followed the rules, worked hard, opened businesses, raised children, and built something extraordinary. That history is the history of this district. It's the story of America. And right now, that story and the dream we all share is under attack. I want to speak plainly about what's happening in our communities. ICE is terrorizing families who've done nothing wrong. I hear it everywhere I go. Families are afraid to walk to the grocery store. Parents are afraid to take their kids to school. Business owners tell me their weekend rush has disappeared because people are afraid to be on the street. That's not law enforcement, that is fear as a weapon. That's why I've been pushing for legislation that holds ICE accountable for its actions and protects the people and families in Queens from this out-of-control agency. I introduced the ICE Badge Visibility Act, requiring agents to display their badge at all times. These agents can't be allowed to hide behind their masks. I introduced the Safe Check-ins for Immigrants Act to require check-ins to happen over Zoom because no family should be arrested for following the law. That way, those on the path to citizenship can continue without fear. And I will say directly to our South Asian communities, I know that your members have faced particular fear in this environment. People with religious garb are constantly being stopped and profiled even. Your community is rightly on edge. And I want to be very clear, civil liberties are not negotiable. Dignity is not negotiable. America is a place where everyone belongs. Despite his best efforts, this president cannot change that. We cannot let him win. I will not stop fighting until the America we all dreamt of becomes real once again. But that doesn't just mean safety. It also means opportunity. The frustration that people feel about costs, about housing, about a government that doesn't seem to hear them is real. Prices are too high, rent out of reach, the system is leaving too many people behind. And my job is not to pretend otherwise. My job is to fight to stop the damage being done right now and build something better so that we can continue to thrive for generations to come. And that's what I'm doing on the House Appropriations Committee, one of the few places where the minority party still has real tools. I've used that seat to fight against the largest Medicaid cuts in American history. I've used it to push back on the funding that keeps ICE operating without accountability. And when Democrats take back the majority, I will use it to deliver for this district in ways that a freshman member of Congress simply can't. Tens of millions of dollars secured for community centers, workforce programs, community partnerships, and healthcare, a small business development center that started in a single room and has helped thousands of entrepreneurs in our district get the legal help, licensing help, and the capital they need to open their doors and achieve their American dream. That is the work. It doesn't always make headlines, but it's what I have spent my tenure showing up in Washington to deliver for our Queens families. And I want to close with something my grandmother told me. She just turned 102 years old and still sharp as ever. She always told me, be a good listener, make sure people feel heard, because when you are in that room, your job is to speak for the people who aren't. Every night in Washington, that is what I carry with me. The families in Queens are scared. The business owners in Queens whose margins are being squeezed by tariffs. I hear them and I fight for them. And tonight, I'm asking you to help me keep fighting. Thank you so much. I will see you all soon when I'm back home
Congressman member Grace Meng, and we thank her for her leadership for the past decade. Now we'll get into our candidate forum with Chuck Park. So I'll ask Ijaz to take his seat. And are we good with the live stream? So I'm gonna text out the link if you guys wanna send it around to community folks.
Has Grace Meng ever debated you?
Should I answer live? I did.
No.
First one for
Just really quickly, I've invited her personally, I've invited her in writing, the League of Women Voters invited her, New York One invited her, a Korean radio station invited her, she has declined every single time.
Sorry, I just need to send this out real quick. First, we're gonna. Oh, this is loud. Okay. Do you have a good mic?
This one's good, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll start by saying that this is about, since Grace Meng unfortunately couldn't be here with us, this will focus solely on Chuck, what makes him different. We don't wanna, it's not an ambush forum, right? So we just wanna make sure it's very clear that running for public office is never easy, right? There's very distinct differences here. I've gotten a chance to know Chuck, so I know how different a platform it is. But we want to make sure we focus on his platform, why he thinks he's a better candidate, would be a better representative. So that being said, Chuck, the first thing we're going to do is you have 2 minutes as an opening statement. Why are you running, and why this district should vote for you?
Sure. So thanks so much. Thank you, Reverend Jeff. Thank you to the South Asian Indo-Caribbean Club for inviting us to this forum. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm happy always to be accountable, present, and to answer any questions from any member of the public. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Chuck Park. I'm a proud son of Queens. I was born in Flushing Hospital. My parents came from Korea. They were street peddlers in Woodside. I'm sorry if you've heard this story before. They raised 5 kids. I grew up to become a U.S. diplomat appointed by President Obama. I quit to protest President Trump, and now I'm running for Congress to fight for the working families of the world's borough. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I've mentioned this to many of you, but I used to canvass for Representative Meng. When she won in 2012, she broke a bamboo ceiling. She was the first Asian American elected from New York State. And unfortunately, I think that has been her principal achievement in Congress.